Atmospheres have been at the core of my music recently, and they're probably my favourite aspect of melodic bass, future bass music in general. They do two things. They, one, add emotion to your music, and two, very importantly, fill up the frequency spectrum. Hey, I'm Chris, one half of EDM duo Culture Code, and I've been in the music scene now for over 10 years. I've accumulated over 300 million streams, and I've travelled the world doing shows. And I created the Sound Horizon Academy as my way of giving back to this EDM community by helping you become better producers faster and grow your fan bases. So this is going to be a great video for anyone that loves emotional sounding music. It took me, admittedly, far too long to realise how important atmospheres were, and since doing so, it's honestly changed my life in the way that I produce music. Now, there's a lot to go over here. I'm not going to hold anything back, genuinely going to show you every technique that I use for creating atmospheres and pads. So let's dive in. So method one is pull X stretch. Now this plugin is fucking cool, check this out. So it's a free plugin available for Mac and Windows, and basically you just throw audio into it and it just stretches the absolute hell out of it. So I usually go to settings and put this play when host transport running setting on. So that means that when I press play, I'm playing here. When I stop Ableton, it stops pull X stretch. Even though it still says pause there, it's still going. So let's maybe shorten the loop. Let's go from where there's actual audio. Right, so that just sounds like, you know, just like regular stretching out vocals or whatever, right? But here's where it gets really cool. So you got this stretch amount. So if we could take this ridiculously high. You can already hear the possibilities there, right? So let's quickly get like some sort of chord progression up so that we can do this in like a real world example. So I've got a progression. I know that the track is in A flat minor. So very importantly, you need to have your audio file in the key of the track. So we've got that now. I've got an audio track here already set up to record from this track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to arm that, and then we're just going to, maybe we'll select maybe this bit here. Looks like there's quite a lot of information going on there, and then we'll start recording, see what we get. Right, so you get the point, right? And then you just record. I usually record for a good few minutes and then just go from there. So one more cool thing in here is when you find a part that you like and you really stretch it out. So for example, let's get rid of that. Let's do it again. I'm going to record again, but I'm going to activate this ratios mixer. You'll see what I do here. There we go. So as you saw, as I was increasing those ratios, I think what it's doing technically is just like boosting frequencies. But man, it just brings it to life. Like you really bring out like those upper harmonics. If we just take a listen from the start. And it starts coming out, and then even more. Just higher harmonics coming in each time. And that with this just layers beautifully. I absolutely love that because I'm not a fan of like atmospheres. There's some real great like atmosphere samples out there and stuff, but I don't like the fact that a lot of them just stay kind of stagnant and don't really move much or evolve. Whereas when you go the Paul X stretch route, like it's just limitless. You can just keep going. You can keep automating stuff. You can, you can physically turn the speed as you're like recording. So like if you get to a bit where it's going on a bit too long, just decrease the speed, and then that way you can start getting to another section of that vocal or whatever you've thrown in there, and you've just got a constantly evolving atmosphere. It's just incredible. All right, that was Paul X stretch. So method 2 is my atmosphere rack. Now I love using this thing. So it's made up of a free plugin called Valhalla Supermassive, followed by a Shimmer. Now the Shimmer isn't exactly needed. I love it because it adds like a octave above, which is really nice and like in the name shimmery. And then just a bunch of other Ableton stock plugins, which you could find these stock plugins in FL Studio, Logic, whatever. So let's load it in. So what I usually do is I load a track and then I group it and then I put like 3 in the group. Atmos rack goes onto the group. We'll go Atmos rack 2. By the way, the Atmosphere rack is actually free on the Sound Horizon Academy website. Just go and find the free stuff page and it's on there. You need stuff that's in the key of the track. So we need either G sharp minor or B major. Usually I find it easier to find stuff in the major scale. So, I mean, we could physically use this. Whoa. All right, you're already hearing the effects of what the Atmos rack does. I'm going to turn these guys down, these individual guys. And then, so what you need to do, so this is G major, right? We need this to be 1, 2, 3, 4 higher. So we just go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we don't need like a big section of this. We can just maybe make it, yeah, just those 2 guys. So it'll sound like that, but when you put this guy on. Woo! Emotional already. And this film just go on forever. Da, da. I mean, we could even take that there and like... I think it'd be 2 semitones up. Let's try it. Ew. Alright, I need to keep this first guy the same, I think. And let's do a bit of crossfade. If I'm going to do that, probably best to low cut it. And we could just take it a step further. We could go. Go back to that one. And just like that, you've got an atmospheric loop again that's evolving, moving, not just staying stagnant. It's actually providing a little bit of melody, which is quite nice. And then from there, you just go and find some random shit. So like, Shattered. So I've got the vocals from my Shattered. I can speak, Chris. From my Shattered remix of Mitis with Run. So if I go to acapella. Okay, so I can see this one here. And the reason I want to go for this is because Run has a really like nice, beautiful, kind of high, airy voice. Perfect for atmosphere layers like this. So this is F major. I need it to be B major. That's quite a jump. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're just honestly going to go find... let's try that. Layer it underneath, see what we got. Don't like it. Keep going. We scrub through. If you hold Command, Option, and Shift, you get this hand, and you can literally scrub through. I like that, and then we can go for another one here, maybe. Ooh. This feels a little bit low to me now, so let's see if there's anything else. Nice. And then I want something for these in-between bits. Let's go for an ARP. Honestly, you can literally use fucking anything. It doesn't really matter. So, Brighter Days ARP. And we want something close to B major. That's a bit too crazy though. There we go. Like I say, just go one up. Do that. Let's see where we're at. Maybe on this new section of 8 bars, we add something else, like, what else is there? That's some other kind of guitar loop. That could be nice. Down one. Nice. Now the only thing is I don't want too much low-end content in here because then we're going to struggle to define the chord progression of the piano. So we're only really looking for that kind of range there. That is literally it. We take all this stuff off. You've just got absolute randomness. Oh, hold on. And with this on, it's... You could literally start the track with that and then bring in the piano afterwards and it would still be just really nice and beautiful and emotional. Method 3 is using atmospheres or pad samples, and a great source for this is Splice. Actually, I did this in my new course, available to members of the Sound Horizon Academy right now. Alright, check this out, it's a really quick clip. That. Alright, it's actually called Dark.
We're under fire, emotions are changing, and I don't know why.
As you can see, that one sample transformed the whole intro, like just gave it a complete vibe from the beginning. Now, if you want to watch that whole thing in real time, it's a great course if you're a music producer in the melodic space. I'm basically starting a song from scratch, and I'm gonna, by the end of the course, I'm gonna release the song as a culture code track, and I'm gonna market it, create content around it, and show you guys absolutely all of that as well, so that you can create your own content. I'm going to show you how to actually get the track in front of people so that you can start not only growing your Spotify streams, but like start growing a fan base as well. Now you can join the academy right now for $19.99 a month and get instant access to the course, whereas like usually courses are a few hundred to a grand. This is my way of keeping the cost lower for you, because I know how it is when you're like coming up in music. It's not that easy to invest money in it. Okay, so This one is pretty easy. You know, you go find some great samples that you like. I do recommend Splice. It's just got everything basically, but like here, I've got my Atmospheres pack here, and we'll stick with the same progression. We'll go Atmosphere. We've got pads one shot, and we're gonna go. Let's go minor this time. So we're in no, we're in G sharp minor. You see, like I said earlier, how there's just not enough involvement in some of these samples. Here's the one from the course. You can see why I love that one. It's just, there is involvement to that one. It progresses and it, you know, it's got emotion to it to begin with. So is that, to be fair, and we're not far off. Let's have a look. Alright, let's try it there. One down. Makes it a little bit longer. It's actually quite nice. Let's throw on. Remember how I said earlier as well about the low end? We don't want to take away from the chord progression. Alright, for this, let's just scrap all this. I'm going to use my CC Keyscape. Just a bit of a stronger piano sound. Fuck's it doing that for? I think I actually need to just legato all this. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright, we're getting some really weird high end. Yeah. Beautiful. Alright, and now we can see what else we can do. That's pretty cool. I don't know if it'll work, but I want to try it out. And then what I like to do with these is maybe like fade it in a little bit as this one's coming out. Oh, hold on. Wrong key. I mean, it's in key, but it don't work. Yeah, maybe that. I want something soft to begin with. So we've got F sharp minor there. We need to go up by 2. Now with that, I'd probably try and stretch it out, to be honest, because it's a little bit short. I at least want it to kind of reach this next, you know, that next 4 bars or 8 bars. I could probably stretch that a little bit further, actually. Right, ignore the piano doing weird stuff there, but yeah, that's basically how I'd go about using samples. It's like kind of fading them in and out. You know, you could probably get away throwing a little bit of reverb on there just to kind of accentuate the tails a little bit more. I wouldn't go too crazy with that though, because you'll end up with just a bunch of muddiness and stuff. All right, method 4 is Shimmer. Now, this is a paid plugin, but I do recommend you get this plugin at some point because it is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's really good at creating like atmospheres that kind of just take up that top end, if that makes sense. Like a lot of the ones we used then were kind of like mid-rangey and stuff with the samples. But here, let me show you. Real quick example is we duplicate the piano and we straight up just throw a shimmer on there. Alright, not really doing much, right? So we need to set this to big stereo. We need to increase the size a little bit. Low cut up quite a lot. And then I turn this feedback up quite a bit as well. Let's get rid of what we don't want. I mean, if that doesn't show the power of that plugin, I don't know what does. Like, it just fills up frequencies in such a nice way. I do kind of use it a lot on existing stuff in the project. If it's a good plugin for where you're at a place where you don't know what else to add because you've got so many instruments here, you know, your vocals are very stacked. Duplicate something, duplicate a vocal, put it like, yeah, here we go. Let me put, let's go 155. After all, acapella. And if I showed you all my flaws. There's still a lot of room, right? So now we can go, boom, duplicate that, shimmer on. Mix 100% because we don't want any dry. Size up, big stereo, low cut up. Where are we at? And if I showed you all my flaws. Torn down every wall. Be the me that no one saw. Like, you hear what I'm talking about, right? Like, it just, without taking away, it fills up the frequency spectrum in a very non-destructive way. So that is Shimmer. Can't recommend it enough. I use it all the time. Method 5, and my last kind of recommendation for this, is to use synths or like plugins. For instance, Omnisphere is one I always go to. I also use a lot of Arcade, but let's quickly throw in an Omnisphere. In fact, let me just quickly show you this. Pretty much all, if not most, of the atmosphere in After All was from Omnisphere. Any of these like audio ones here, which have been like recorded. Let's have a look what we got going on. So this is basically all the atmosphere from After All. That's a narco sample, I believe. But like this cool shit here. Straight out of Omnisphere. What we got here? Nothing there. Something very similar. What we got here? Straight out of Omnisphere. That's the Atmos rack that I recorded. So you can see a lot of it. And what's this here? Straight out of Omnisphere. So you get my point. Like, Omnisphere has some great stuff. Let me just quickly show you how I would set this up. Same again. Create a audio track that can record that MIDI track. So let's quickly put Omnisphere on here. And then we'll set this up real quick. So let's straight away send that to the Omnisphere. And we're going to actually record both. Alright, here's my favorite category. So you go to type, scroll down, and you get to dreaming. This is pretty much where all of After All's atmospheres came from. Then I like to put it on this little randomized thing so we can get different stuff every time. Now here's where it gets weird, right? So we're in G sharp minor, B major. You would think that those two notes, one of them would work, but for some reason, Omnisphere, sometimes it might be a totally random note on the keyboard that is the one that works for that patch. So my recommendation is that you play this on keyboard so that you don't, because if you just draw it in, you just draw in that B major, it might not be the right note for that patch that's going to be perfect for it. And plus, I'm going to show you in a minute how to actually record it in, like playing it, and what a difference that can make. Alright, so we're going to go to B major. Nope. But then again, you've got to find patch that you actually like. I like that. See, I'm pressing B major there. Theoretically, that should work, but I don't like it. I also don't like G sharp, so where is it? Weirdly, D sharp sounds better. Maybe F sharp will sound good as well. It does. F sharp being the 5th of the B major chord. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that's why I like to play it in. Right, watch this. See, you just get... You can play around with the notes, whereas if you just draw it in, you kind of end up committing to just that one note, whereas like if you got a bit of movement. Again, my whole thing with atmospheres is to evolve them, make them move, don't keep them stagnant. Alright, so that's literally how I go about it, and then I'd probably just grab an audio track, drag that down, turn it off for now, get rid of that, go back into Omnisphere, and we'll quickly just do one more just for example purposes. I like that a lot. I'm pressing B major there, will it go? Of course not. G sharp. Let's record it. Alright, and you get the point. Obviously, I played a wrong note in there. I thought the F sharp was going to work. It did not. So at that point, I could just do that and then just freeze and flatten that because I know I like the rest of it. So that was my 5 ways of creating atmospheres. But as a bonus, I want to show you how much of a difference using atmospheres in a drop makes as well. Because this, to me, just blew my mind. So we've got the After All drop open here, straight from the track. So it's exactly as was. Quickly just walk you through the layers. So obviously we've got bass, chords. Surprisingly, whenever I show people in one-on-one sessions like the chords to this track, they're always like, huh? Because, you know, the misconception is that the chords make up everything in a melodic bass drop. But like when I put the atmospheres on top of the chords, they're actually what's giving the chords character and kind of filling out that mid-range to top end, which I guess people think is all coming from the chords. But here's my thing with chords versus atmospheres and drops. Chords are what we were talking about earlier with like being very stagnant, like not much movement. They don't really have much life to them. Whereas atmospheres, if I just quickly show you these. So we've got like, I think a couple of narco ones here. We've got a G on that one, and we've got... There's movement to them, right? I mean, what key are we in here? That's a B. We're in B. right? I mean, I found another cool one since then. It's in the Horizons pack, which I didn't have at the time. But like, just listen to how much movement this guy has. So it's an A. If we just quickly make that a B, let's listen to this. Let me play that with the chords. Actually, didn't put it there. Like, I can't recommend Atmospheres any more than this. Like, they're just add so much life to everything and just emotion. Again, let me just, for example purposes, just play the chords, the bass leads. It sounds nice on its own, but there's no life to it. There's no kind of like wow factor or uniqueness. Whereas that's, in a nutshell, that's the best way I can describe it. The Atmospheres add uniqueness because you just don't get these kind of movements with like super saw layers and stuff. I hope this video is enough to convince you to start using a lot more Atmospheres in your music, because I promise you it will just add that emotion and kind of uniqueness that you're looking for. So I hope you found this video valuable. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe on the video. Let's get this information to as many producers as possible. And if you want to take your learning a step further, please join us at the Sound Horizon Academy, where you can get instant access to that EDM exploration course we talked about earlier, as well as Ableton templates, exclusive tutorials, and much more. And if you want to accelerate your learning even faster, feel free to jump on a one-on-one session with me. Right, peace.